بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Tonight is the 19th night of Rajab of the year 1440, which is the 25th of March 2019. And this class number? 13. And we're still going through the seerah of the prophets, and the prophet that we are about, inshaAllah, maybe conclude his story tonight, maybe not. And I most likely going to take another episode after this. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, who is truly Khalilullah Azza wa Jal, tested a number of times, showed his perseverance, and he showed his patience, and he showed his tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jal. Also, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was a masterpiece in debates. He had debated with the people of the Asnam, debated with the people of the stars, debated with the king, debated with a number of people, with Namrud, Canaan. So he had debated, and he had shown that he had already been given his rushd when he was a young boy. Ibrahim alayhi salam, in terms of face-wise, Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam looks like him. So the face of Ibrahim alayhi salam is similar to the face of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he is one of the ulul azm of ar-Rusul, the best 5 messengers who showed endurance and patience. The best of those 5 is Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Second to best is Ibrahim alayhi salam. Second to best, Ibrahim alayhi salam. And that is why he was in the 7th heaven when the Prophet of Allah was ascending. Ibrahim alayhi salam, after he had made his da'wah to his people and he's given up on them, maybe the story says that he was on the way when he had this debate with Namrud, and when he passed as well with the king, and we discussed that last week, when he had the debate with the Namrud, and then also when he had passed to that king who used to take any person's wife, and he would kill the husband and he would rape the wife, and how Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam managed to save himself and his wife Sarah. And then we said that Sarah, she had been given a present, and that is Hajar, to go with her. So the person who was about to kill Ibrahim did not, because Ibrahim, he said that she's my sister, so I'm not her husband. That would save him from the killing. And also, when she was approached by him, she made a supplication. Also, Ibrahim made a supplication. She prayed, she made wudu, and she said, Allah, save me. And the man fell, as we have discussed last time, 3 times. Then he said to his soldiers, you brought me a jinn, shaitan, he did not bring me a human being. So he sent her back, and he sent with her money and food and everything. So she had money and food, and also Hajar, which is going to be the mother of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam later on. Hajar and the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and his nephew Lut alayhi salam and his wife also Sarah, all of those made hijrah, migration. The migration was to Bilad al-Sham. And this is when we have left it the last time, yes? When Ibrahim alayhi salam, he went from the Egyptian land to the land of Bilad al-Sham. Bilad al-Sham, we said, Jordan, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, and the north of Iraq. Lut alayhi salam, he went to the land where the Dead Sea at the moment. We call it al-Ghurabaa, hot land. This is where the city called Sodom the Sodom. So whatever action that these people used to do, they had attributed to the city Sodomy for Sodom. It was full of people who are evil, kuffar, fujjar, all of those. Now, we're coming now to Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala giving glad tidings to Ibrahim alayhi salam that he will have the son Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam later on and his ummah. Do you have that? Where Allah Azza wa Jal had revealed to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, let me just give you a verse and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay? So if we talk about after that, what happened is the birth of Ismail alayhi salam from Hajar. The people of the book, they say that Ibrahim alayhi salam, he had asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offsprings. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him that glad tidings. Yes?
Yeah.
Read from that. So just which page? So you could link to the brothers. All I want to know is just the link.
Page 146, the birth of Ismail, peace be upon him. The people of the book say, Ibrahim asked Allah for righteous children, and so Allah gave him the good tidings for that. When Ibrahim had lived in Palestine for about 20 years, Sarah said to him, the Lord has deprived me of children, so take this slave girl, Hajar, perhaps Allah may grant you children from her.
As for the 20 years, Allahu A'lam. Time-wise, we're not sure how many years he lived in Palestine. But we know that Sarah, she had brought with her Hajar from the king. And she, because she did not have children, and she got old. That's why she said to Ibrahim, but by the way that she's a slave, to make not marriage is called intercourse, tasarri. The slaves are not to be married. Do you understand that? So she's a slave being given to Ibrahim, and slavery-wise, you're allowed to approach her in terms of marital relation, even though that you're not married to her. So, go ahead.
When she gave her to Ibrahim and he slept with her, she became pregnant.
So she became pregnant, and she gave birth of whom? Ismail alayhi salam. Right, before we go ahead to this story, we need to make sure that you understand that the hijrah of Ibrahim to the land of Bilad al-Sham, from the land which is full of bad people and that king, was mentioned in the Quran in 3 places. Place number 1 in Surah Maryam, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala he says about Ibrahim alayhi salam, وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ وَمَا تَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَأَدْعُوا رَبِّي عَسَىٰ أَلَّا أَكُونَ بِدُعَاءِ رَبِّي شَقِيًّا. And that is verse 48. Also the second place in the Quran where Allah mentions this hijrah. Translation of that, by the way, the verse وَأَعْتَزِلُكُمْ, that means I set myself aside from you and what you worship beside Allah. So that's why he left him. Second place in Surah Al-Ankabut, verse 26, فَآمَنَ لَهُ لُوط. Lut had followed Ibrahim alayhi salam, had believed in his da'wah. Then Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, وَقَالَ إِنِّي مُهَاجِرٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّي. And he said, O Lord, I have migrating to my Lord, to Allah Azza wa Jal. That means to the land where I can worship Allah. Third place in Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 71, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ وَلُوطًا. And we have saved him, that is Ibrahim alayhi salam, and along with him Lut, إِلَى الْأَرْضِ الَّتِي بَارَكْنَا فِيهَا لِلْعَالَمِينَ. To the land which we have given blessings in it, to the alameen, to the all in existence. So there's barakah in that land. Allah Azza wa Jal commanded us that if we cannot practice our deen in any land, to make a migration. And that's a principle. So if you are in a land which has no Muslims, and you're not practicing your deen openly, and you cannot practice your religion freely, then you must leave and migrate. You must, according to your ability. But if you are in a land where you are allowed to practice your deen, But this land is disbelievers. And I'm talking about what you are doing now here. If you are in a land, we're allowed to practice your deen, to come to the masjid and show your practice and all of that. But still, some of those things that you cannot host. So, for example, the adhan cannot be declared outside. Yeah, maybe once in a while for a show. Like they've done in Trafalgar Square when they put the adhan. That's a show. Do you understand me? It's a show. They want to put it on. But it's not the... So if the Islam is not prevailing in any place, okay, but you are able to practice your deen, you pray in freedom and alhamdulillah, is that compulsory upon me to migrate? Well, there's no difference among the scholars regarding if the person is is affected in his deen, whether he can practice or not, he has to make at least the minor migration from his spot to another spot in that land where it's less affecting to yourself. Do you understand me? So living in Luton, in this area in Barry Park, definitely is different from living in the middle of Kent. Do you understand? Definitely it's different, because there you could really be uncomfortable to go out with your wife if she's fully covered. Whereas in here, I think maybe the one was uncovered finding a problem to go in the street uncovered. Do you understand? That's the difference. And there are women that will be comfortable to come with hijab, alhamdulillah, inshallah, until today. We ask Allah that this to continue. But if this person is not affected and he's in this environment, the hijab is still, for him, always recommended. Some scholars say still compulsory. Our Shaykh al-Albani says compulsory. And you should not root yourself in a land where you can't really control. Is okay? Is it recording? Reconnecting. So if you have the freedom to express what you say and what you are afraid of. It's not you in this field, by the way. It's everybody. So even the Christians and the Jews and all of them. Express your opinion. You can't take the parental control from us. And then, this is very, very serious about the topic. Very serious. 2020, and it has already been introduced. It's going to be compulsory to have this, not religious. This is called relationship. And if you have your child, which is 4 years old, going to be documented with this. That child, he said to the teacher that my family, they're not really letting me to believe in this. And then the teacher, she has to go and report that to the social. The social will intervene. Brothers, I'm talking seriously here. You are in Jannah now, which we call not Jannah. It is in Jannah compared with what's going to come ahead. It's a big fight in our hands. So we have to really express our opinion. That's okay. Some people are homeschooling. How are you going to be able to do homeschooling? And then there will be investigation in homeschooling. You are as well giving that to your children. So they're going to be all of this. So there is, alhamdulillah, but some people who are not Muslim with us. And we need to make sure that we express strongly our opinion regarding this. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, أَلَمْ تَكُنْ أَرْضُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعَةً. Isn't it the land of Allah is a lot and a big, فَتُهَاجِرُوا, that you make hijrah in it? Why do you want to stick? Because of the money? The work? The hijrah does not stop. Prophet ﷺ said, لا تنقطع الهجرة حتى تنقطع التوبة. Hijrah will not stop until the repentance stops. ولا تنقطع التوبة حتى تخرج الشمس من مغربها. وتطلع الشمس. The hijrah will not stop until the tawbah, and the tawbah, the repentance, will not stop until the sun rises from the west. That means the day of resurrection. So the hijrah all the way. Prophet of Allah, he left Mecca. And he said, لولا أن قومك أخرجوني. Had it been that, he was talking to Mecca, that your people, Mecca, driven me out, I would have never went out. Yet to leave the most beloved place to Allah, most beloved place to himself, his homeland, because he can't practice his what? His deen. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he left to Habasha. And when Sayyid al-Qara, the chief of al-Qara, the well-known tribe, He said, where are you going? He said, well, I'm going to go and tour the land in order to worship Allah. And he was going to Abyssinia. He said, somebody like you should not be driven out. So he wanted to tour the land to worship Allah. He wanted to lead. So he migrated, him and his wife and his children. Why? And it's not really an easy trip. It's not really a ticket to go far. He met him in Makkah al-Ghamad, 5 nights travel journey from Mecca, close to Yemen. Now from Mecca to Yemen, it's about 2 hours drive, 3 hours drive. 5 nights journey. It's about to go from Yemen then to cross the sea, the Red Sea, to the Abyssinia. So he was making hijrah. So the hijrah, the person should be thinking about it, and more thinking about it these days. Because as I said, you'll not be able to control your own children. Not control, I would say teach your children what your deen implements upon you to teach them. طيب. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's now having the glad tidings of Ismail. It says there that he got Ismail when he was 80 plus. And that's from the people of the book. Well, as I said, we could put it along, but definitely he's older than Ishaq. According to the people of the book, Ishaq was later on when he was 99. So about a difference about 15, 16, 17 years between Ismail and Ishaq. Ishaq is the son of Sarah. Sarah. Play. Can you read from there, please? And I'll follow you, inshaa. Just you left. Then I'll elaborate.
It is said that when she came to know to be pregnant, she felt of herself more important and despised her mistress. Sarah got angry with her and complained to Ibrahim. Ibrahim said to her, do what you want with her. So Hajar became frightened and fled from her and went to a spring in the desert.
Right. All of that is unauthentic. We don't really know. But we know that there was a jealousy happened. And this is a natural jealousy. She told Ibrahim to go, as I said, you remember Wafid Ad, she brought Hajar. She could have just said to the king, I don't want Hajar, send her back, I don't want my husband to. But she brought her. And when it's a pregnancy happens, that's when she got jealous, because she's not pregnant. She's pregnant. So she wanted her to leave. Doesn't want to see her. That's correct. And that's why Ibrahim alayhi salam took her. Go ahead.
An angel came and said to her, do not be frightened. Allah will bring good out of this conceived child.
As of that, we don't know as well. We know later on that Hajar, she would question why you left us, Ibrahim. So if she had this conversation with the angel, she would have never asked Ibrahim alayhi salam why you left us alone in the desert. Okay? Go ahead.
He asked her to go back and told her that she should give birth to a boy and should name him Ismail.
Right, all of that is not authentic. Go ahead.
He will be like a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone and everyone's hand against him.
All of that from the people of the book, which will have no authenticity or something. Go ahead.
He will own all the land of his brothers. Hajar thanked him for this glad tidings.
Right, go ahead. Not authentic.
This glad tidings in fact hold good for his son Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because the one through whom Arabs ruled and conquered all the land in the east and the west is he, and Allah gave him the most beneficent knowledge which none of the nations were given before. When Hajar came back, she gave birth to Ismail alayhi salam. At the time of birth of Ismail, Ibrahim was 86 years old, and it was 13 years before Ishaq was born.
Okay, so about 13 years between. That's according to the people of the book. I mean, this is not really a very important information to whether to check it's authentic or not, but it's definitely, according to them, who is older? Ismail. It's very important to know, because we want to know later on who is the one that's being slaughtered. So you know that, like, Ismail is older. Now,
when Ismail was born, Allah revealed to Ibrahim, giving him the glad tidings of the birth of another son, Ishaq, from Sarah. He fell down in sujood to Allah. Allah said to him, blessed him and will greatly increase his number. He will be the father of 12 rulers and will make him into a great nation.
Those 12 rulers, according to the Ibn Kathir, they are related to the Prophet ﷺ. We talked about the Imma Lithnei Ashar. So that's authentic. Go ahead, because it links to the authentic story now. Now.
This was a great tiding for this ummah. These 12 rulers were 12 pious leaders about whom the Prophet prophesied in this hadith, which is narrated by Abdul Malik bin Umair from Jabir bin Samurah.
The Prophet said there will be 12 leaders, Khalifa. Okay, right? So, and then he said a word which I didn't understand. I asked my father, he said, verily, all of them from Quraysh. This is in Bukhari and Muslim. طيب. So these are the 12 leaders, starting from Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and Ali, and also from amongst them Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and some of the leaders of Bani al-Abbas. Yes? Father.
From these 12 are not meant what Shiites claim for them.
Correct.
Of whom the first is Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anh, and the last is the awaited in the basement of Samra, and who is Muhammad al-Hassan
al-Askari. Okay. For Bani, the Rafida believes in 12 Imams. Yes, one of them is correct, and that's Ali. Ali ibn Abi Talib. The rest is... And they end up with somebody who's not even known is to be born, which is Muhammad ibn Hassan al-Askari. Hassan al-Askari, we don't have any children for him. But they produce a child for him, because you know why? You see, if there was more children, there would be more than 12. There would be none end. But Hassan al-Askari, he had no son. So they had to produce a son, but when you produce a son which is not there, you can't produce the son of son which is not there. Do you understand me? So they made a son for him, but they couldn't go ahead and make son of a son which does not exist. So let's have one. But that's why they stopped with the 12, which is Muhammad al-Askari, which is not being seen whatsoever, it was not there, it does not exist. And they're still waiting for him in the Sirdab. Sirdab is like a tunnel. And they're still making their rituals in there for him to come out. They said the man is gonna, is for them like for us Isa alayhi salam when he comes down. Same thing. Father.
So when Hajar gave birth to Ismail, Sarah felt ill towards her and asked Ibrahim to hide her face from her. Ibrahim therefore took Hajar and her son Ismail and started his journey towards the place where Makkah is situated today. It is said that her child was at that time still a baby. When Ibrahim left them there and walked back, Hajar clenched his cloth and said, Ibrahim, where are you going, leaving us here alone? We do not have sufficient food and drink. Ibrahim did not answer her. When she persisted and found no answer, then she asked, has Allah commanded you for that? He said, yes. She then said, Allah will not then leave us to perish.
Right. What do we learn? First of all, and he left away from Sarah, he was to make tawakkul upon Allah. And when his wife Hajar, she asked him the following question: why and where are you leaving us in the middle of nowhere? There's nothing there. Nothing. No water, nothing. You just left us a bit of food and a bit of water. To whom you are leaving us? So we understand that the person as a husband is responsible and in charge of his family. And if Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, I left you because Sarah told me, he's not allowed to do so. Do you understand that? Because she asked him, to whom you left us? He didn't go quiet. He said, did your Lord command you? If he said, no, my Lord did not command you, he said, oh, you can't leave us then. You can't leave us. You go with us to look after us. It's one night for her, one night for me. Do you understand? You have to be fair. But did Allah command you to do that? He said yes. So she can't argue now. So Allah Azza wa Jal, because he's a prophet. A prophet, he has to adhere. We have to adhere to the command, but he's more, he's a prophet, he's a messenger. So she said, Allah told you, command you to do this, then Allah will not what? Neglect us. لا يضيعنا الله. And this is tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jal. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. If you put your trust in Allah Azza wa Jal, then Allah will suffice you. أليس الله بكاف عبده? Isn't it true that Allah would suffice his slave? Ibrahim عليه السلام, when he was thrown in the fire, he said, حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. Prophet Muhammad when he was driven out of Makkah, when he was pelted with the stones from the people of Ta'if, he said, حسبي الله ونعم الوكيل. If you depend upon Allah, Allah will not let you down. If you depend and make tawakkul upon other people, they might let you down. So, tawakkul ala Allah Azza wa Jal, it's got lots of benefits. Benefit number one, if you make tawakkul upon Allah, Allah will love you. And if Allah loves you, Allah will protect you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. If you have decided your matter, then put your tawakkul upon Allah. For verily Allah loves the one who makes tawakkul. If Allah loves you, you don't need anything else. Khalas. Allah is with you. Allah will be everything that you see, everything that you hear. And if you make tawakkul upon Allah, Allah will protect you from the shaitan. And we know that the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if the person leaves his house, he says, Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Bismillah, tawakkaltu. What does the shaitan, he says? Hudiya. Kufiya. Told you. So if you make tawakkul upon Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah will protect you from the shaitan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna ibadi laysa laka alayhim sultan. Verily, my slave, you have no authority over them. وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. And enough Allah to be is the wakil, the one you put your trust on Him. So we know that the tawakkul upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you from the shaitan. And if you make tawakkul upon Allah, then you will enter paradise without reckoning, without punishment. 70,000 from my ummah will enter paradise without reckoning, without punishment. Those are the ones. Do not cauterize, do not seek ruqya, and do not believe in omens. And at the end of it, which is the one that summarizes everything, they put their trust in Allah. وَعَلَى رَبِّهِمْ يَتَوَكَّلُونَ. You will have no punishment, no question. You don't want to be questioned regarding your deeds. That's the punishment in itself. And he who makes tawakkul upon Allah, Allah will give him the rizq, just like He gives the birds the rizq. They go in the morning empty belly, they come back upon Allah. The proper tawakkul, Allah Azza wa Jalla will give you that food just like He has given that bird. Your rizq will be there all the time. Ismail Hajar, she sets the best of example for this tawakkul. She says, did your Lord command you to leave us here? Nothing? Yes, she didn't say divorce me. I don't want to see your face again. Khalas, Allah commanded you this. Allah, we are in a better protection than you, Ibrahim. That's what she said. Do you understand? Because Ibrahim is a prophet, but Allah is a God. So if Allah commanded you, we are in a better situation. Because Allah will not command you to do something that would make us suffer. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever He ordains for us, it will be good for us. And that's why she said in another narration, Hasbiya Allah. Allah is sufficing me. There's another different narration. Then la yudayyirun Allah. She said, Hasbi Allah. Another narration, she said, Raditu billah. I am pleased with what Allah commands. Khalas. She's had put proper tawakkul. This is now the story when Jibreel alayhi salam is going to come to her and bring her the water, and we ask ourselves one of the questions: who is the one that looked after Ismail and his mother in the middle of the desert? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب, فضل. So, following title could be, that is, the later on.
Imam Bukhari narrates from Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma.
This hadith is long hadith, but we need to narrate it. Because there's a story of what happened.
Who said the first woman to use a girdle was the mother of Ismail.
What's it called?
Girdle.
What's girdle? Please explain to me as an Englishman.
I think maybe
The waist, the middle. Okay. Is that what you think, or you just studied that before?
I didn't study, but I know.
Is that girdle? Is that known to you? Girdle? No, nobody knows it. You must be going to English school, that's why. Anybody knows the girdle? The middle waist belt for the women, they used to take it, tuck their clothes in. Right, well, let's just see if you can understand what's happening. Go ahead. She's the first woman to take that curtain. And who else she took it as well? Asma, the sister of whom? Aisha. Asma that Nitaqayn. The one who's got to, because she had one belt and she tear it into two halves. Two halves when the migration took place. When they were, the Prophet ﷺ migrated with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. So she made it into two halves, one to wrap herself and one to send the food in it. Okay, so it's basically a waste belt. Go ahead. So why she took it?
She used a girder so that she might remove her track from Sarah.
How? Well, she's going to wrap herself with it. We're going to wrap herself and wrap. So how can she do that? Yes?
Is it dragging something?
She's dragging her waist belt. So she's dragging the waist belt.
Something's tied to it?
So she's going to tie it up from the beginning and make it a tail for it. I'm not saying wrong or right, I'm just saying, yeah. That's why I just said you need to explain it properly, and we need to go and dig deeper into this. When the woman, she puts this waist belt, that means she's about to leave. She's not going to stay. So when she put it in front of Sarah, she said to her, I'm moving. Are you happy now? I'm ready to what? To leave. Because she doesn't put it inside the house. She only puts it when she goes. So that's the first one. Number two, there's two ways of making this as well, to make her, not to trace her where she is that to tie her clothes with this girdle, we call girdle, in the middle, that she makes a tail from the back for her clothes. Do you understand me? So she could really make make it a slack to go a bit to the back, so that it will wipe any trace behind her. But definitely the first one, which is that she is showing that she's getting it ready. That's the best. Okay? So Sarah should be happy. Because Sarah was really jealous. Now,
Ibrahim took her and her son Ismail on a journey, while she was still giving him suck, till he brought them to the house near a tree on the well of Zamzam, the highest place in the Masjid. In those days, there was no one in Makkah, neither there was any water. He left them there and left them with a leather bag containing some dates and water skin containing some water.
And I wanted to take a stand against Sarah and to say, look how cruel she is. She pushed her out, and in the middle of nowhere, and her baby has been suckling. How come? Well, first of all, jealousy is powerful. That's number one. Number two, her jealousy did not say, let her go on her own. No, the husband of hers is the one who is the reason for the jealousy. Why is she jealous? Because of her husband, isn't it? She wants her husband to herself. She allowed her husband to go up with her, to take her. That's good. No woman would do that. Let her go on her own. He's going to travel with her, he's going to have more night with her, he's going to be... You think about that as well. Don't think about just the jealousy. To go with her and stay with her. And on top of that, she doesn't know where he's going to take her. As long as he takes her next door, as long as she's not really see her, that's all. But the command was from Allah Azza wa Jal to take this small family in order to produce us, the followers of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is going to be another ummah. So with an ummah from Sarah and ummah from Hajar. And the ummah from Sarah, all the prophets, save the ones before Ibrahim alayhi salam. And the ummah from Hajar is only Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you understand that? So this ummah here, all Banu Israel comes from that side. From his son Ishaq and Yaqub and Prophet Yusuf and all of those. So when Ishaq alayhi salam, he had produced 12 from the Yaqub, Asbat, Yaqub, Asbat, Al-Asbat. Many. How many know? Allah knows how many there are. I don't know, 1,000 I could say, millions I could say, but all of those have been produced from there. Right, so we understand, alhamdulillah, now that Sarah is not really a horrible woman as people think. But she's jealous. She doesn't want to see her, and that's as well, I would say, a wise decision for a person side when he's got more than one wife, not to put them in one house. Prophet ﷺ, he had what? Different houses for each one. Even the other mothers of the believers, but they were jealous. Jealous so much that if a woman would send food to another woman, and that woman, she had the profitable heart and had the guest, oh well, what happened with Aisha? I don't know. Aisha, she had guests to the Prophet ﷺ in her house. One of the wives, either is Salama, okay, which is because two groups they were. Okay, the two groups, the group of Aisha, and the group of that side sent food to the Prophet ﷺ. That's for Aisha an indication that I'm not serving the guests properly, isn't it? I'm not doing very well, am I? So she took the stone and she that, and that's hadith of jealousy. And the food was what? On the ground. And in front of the guest. And he had said plate for a plate. So Aisha and gave it on, but well, all plates belong to the Prophet either anyway. So he took a plate from her and gave it to the plate to that mother of the believers, and at the same time he put the food to the guests and he said, Kul, eat. Your mother's got jealous. See, had he understood the Prophet, he never said to her, what are you doing? You have humiliated in front of my... He didn't say that. It's jealousy. That's understandable. So that's why Ibrahim alayhi salam, he didn't say, Sarah, why are you jealous? That's jealousy. That's the nature. So he did not complain about her jealousy to Sarah. That's jealousy. She is the one, she brought it to him, and now she's jealous because she got pregnant. Not natural jealousy. As long as the jealousy doesn't end up, that story of the Moroccan you've heard about in Emirates. She cooked her husband, and she fed him as a biryani to their workers outside. That's a true story. And the tooth was found in the Mulimix, the blender. That's the one that traced the whole thing. So she cut him into pieces, and she made him into biryani, and she fed him to the workers who were outside. You've heard of that? Allah Ustaad. So we understand now the stand of our mother, Sarah. She's our mother. Hajar, she's our mother. Now, further. It was all the wives of the prophets are mothers. Now.
Ibrahim then, alayhi salam, then started walking back, but the mother of Ismail followed him, saying, where are you going, leaving us behind in this valley where there is no living being or anything else? She repeated that question many times, and Ibrahim did not give any answer to her. Then she said, has Allah commanded you to do this? He replied, yes. She said, he will then not let us be destroyed, saying this as she returned.
He will not neglect us when she left. He will not neglect us.
Ibrahim went on.
Ibrahim oh, Halim. He really, I think, if you think about it properly, Ibrahim alayhi salam, he's got maybe more grief and sorrow than Hajar herself. Do you understand? Because Hajar, she's going to be with his son. He's leaving both, wife and a son. But Hajar, she's going to lose what? Husband. Her son is with her. So he's going to be now wife and a son and little food. And he put it and he's tawakkul upon Allah. Because he hasn't got that much food. He gave that food that he's got. What Allah commanded in this, he knows Allah himself. So before she said, Allah does not neglect us, he would say as well, Allah did not neglect you. That's why he left you. But still, he's going to make dua now. He's going to go to the corner where she can't see him. He's going to make dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Father.
Ibrahim went on till he came to the narrow pass of the mountain, where he could hardly be seen by them. He stopped there and faced towards the house, raised his hands and invoked this prayer.
Read. Rabbana.
Our Lord, I have settled some of my offspring in a valley without any cultivation.
You don't have it in Arabic? Really?
ربنا إني أسكنت من ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيم الصلاة فاجعل يقيم الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. Translating into English, Our Lord, I have settled some of my offspring in a valley without any cultivation by your sacred house, O Lord, so they may establish regular prayers. So make the hearts of the people yearn towards them and provide them with sustenance that they may be grateful.
All of those was fulfilled. All of those were fulfilled. As we're going to see. Okay, Ismail, fadl.
Ismail's mother continued suckling Ismail and drinking from the water. When all the water in the water skin got used up,
The water skin, I mean, is the one that is like the bottles that we use in these days. Now,
she as well as her son became thirsty. She started looking at him, tossing in agony. She left him, for she could not look at him anymore.
she can't bear look at him while he is suffering from the thirst. Now,
She found that the Safa was the nearest mountain from her to climb up and see for any help. She stood on it and looked
and
around.
that is a natural act. Person, whenever he is in need of help, he goes up to something high to look around. He will not go to something down. Go something high because he will be able to see more people. So she went to the close by hill which is called Safa. Now,
But she could not see anyone. She descended from the Safa, and when she reached the bottom of the valley, she tucked up her robe and ran in the valley like a person in distress and trouble.
she ran in the valley in order to accelerate, to go to follow and go up the next hill, which is called Marwah. So this is for acceleration. And this is the two, or we could see now the green light which is seen in Makkah. If you go to Makkah and go to the Kaaba, Safa and Marwah, that valley is not anymore exist. There's no valley like this. But what happens is that they put into that flat land, because it's been inherited from that time until today. Look, from that time, which is well before, because the hills were there and existing. The time of the Prophet was still existing. That valley was still existing. But later on, not a long time ago, they have made what? Into like tiles and knives and okay? But they have made it exactly where the valley, by the green lights, the green fluorescent light on the top to show you exactly what it is, so you could really run the same way as in running very fast in between. Okay? To such an extent that width-wise it's been as well allocated where is the valley. So when they have widened the Mas'a, the place where to make the sa'i, the scholars are different. Is it allowed to make the sa'i on the other side? In the Sami, so the valley was before, it's one of the, now it's 2 lanes, isn't it? Each one is really huge. One lane of them that was both lanes, going and coming. This is before they have expanded. The scholars are different. Until today, Shaykh Ibn Fuzan, he says that the Mas'a should be in that list. Is allowed to make the sa'i to be expanded width-wise. Do you understand width-wise? Then you can read larger. And then when they made it larger, then it really much easier. I remember when I wanted to make the Hajj at the time when there was really that narrow, much harder. Especially the sa'i of al-Ifada. After we finish on the day of the Eid, Tawaf al-Ifada, and we go to make the sa'i. I remember I made the sa'i with my mother. We reached the area as soon as we leave from Safa, and then we go body to body from the back and the front. You can't move. You're just moving like with the flow. See you understand me? Now the Hajj, mashallah, sa'i, very easy. Throwing the stones, which was a really dangerous thing, very dangerous. Lots of people die. Very easy. Everything, mashallah, tabarakallah. And you find, jazakumullah khair on those people who've done this. Very easy now. Alhamdulillah. Fadl.
She stood on it and looked around so she could see someone, but she could not see anyone. She descended from Safa and then she reached the bottom of the valley and tucked up her robe and ran, as in distress. She ran till she crossed the valley and reached another mountain called Marwah, where she stood on it and started looking around in the hope that she might find someone, but she could not find anyone. She repeated this act 7 times.
Safa, Marwah, Safa, Marwah, Marwah. So each one is what? One. Not like some of the scholars, they have said Safa, Marwah, Safa is one. So they made it 14. The correct is what? Safa, Marwah 1, Marwah, Safa 2, Safa, Marwah 3. Okay, now. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he says,
Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma narrated that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, that is the source of walking between the two mountains.
this is the sa'i al-nasi baynahuma. Now,
When she reached Marwa, she heard a voice, so she said, be quiet.
she said, Sahin. In Arabic we have Sah, and we have Sahin. Sah means shush for a long time. Let's say stop. Sahin is for a moment. And there's nobody there to tell him to shh. She's telling herself. Shh. And he's quiet to herself. Because she has said something. Sahin. Now, go ahead.
Then she tried to
And
listen.
she said, go on, quiet.
So she said, be quiet, meaning to herself.
Correct.
Then she tried to listen to it attentively, and she heard it again. She said, I have heard you, whoever you may be, but do you have any help with you? Suddenly she saw an angel at the place of Zamzam, digging the earth with his heel or with his wing till water flowed from the place. She started to make like a reservoir around the water using her hand in this way.
Okay. Well, this seeing an angel, she doesn't know what the angel looked like. I mean, she's seen an angel, she's seen a person. And she said, who are you? And he asked, who are you? She said, I am Ismail, Hajar, the mother of Ismail. He said, don't worry, Allah will suffice you. Just like she said to Ibrahim, Allah is not going to neglect us. Allah will never neglect you. He said, I am the messenger of your Lord. So she knows now he's an angel. She doesn't know from the beginning he's an angel. He did not come with her with his 600 wings, Jibreel salam. He would have scared her off. So he came to her and with his aqib, either with his wing, he got a wing, or his foot, he had hit the land. Okay? And that's when the water came out. This water, it had acquired the name Zamzam. Why? Because when the water came out, as a natural act, remember when the natural act she left to go to the top to see the people. Naturally, when you see the water in the middle of desert and you were dying for that, well, what are you going to do? You're going to make the water what? Not to be wasted. So she started making like around it something that the water will not go anywhere. So she will take it from in the pot, in the water skin of hers, and she make it around it. So she made Zamzam, Zamma, you call Zamzam now. The word from her action. The name was evolved from what? From her action. Zammat. Because she doesn't want it to go anywhere, so she started to make it like a fence around it. And that's when our Prophet Muhammad said, go ahead.
Ibn Abbas said, the Prophet ﷺ said, may Allah bestow His mercy upon the mother of Ismail. Had she let the Zamzam flow, or he said, had she not scooped the water, the Zamzam would have been a flowing stream. He said, she drank from it.
But Allah willed for it already. This is qadarullah. Do you understand me? It's not a mistake he's not saying she made a mistake. But this is qadarullah, that Allah made it to do this. So it became a what? A will. If she'd left it, it would have been what? A river. Stream of water, river. But Allah willed for it to be like this. And if it's a river, you think about it now. If that river was passing to another country now, and we had more than one country in control of it, it could be what? Power struggle here. You can't, Saudi Arabia not allowed to take a lot of water of it, and we have to have some of it, and oh, God knows what's going to happen. So this is qadarullah. But the reason for that qadar is that she was doing this. Allah had ordained that Hajar is going to do this, and that's why it's going to be a well. It's not going to be a spring running in between the countries and the land. So it's not a mistake, because the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes he would say a number of things that either it is a praise, or either it is that he is wrong, or either it is that no problem. This is an example of no problem, that she didn't do a mistake. But when, for example, Prophet ﷺ, he talked about some of the prophets, like Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. May Allah have mercy upon Yusuf. When he was being given the option to leave the prison, he said, no, I want to stay. If I was me, I would have said what? I want to be set free. He's saying this as in what? Praising or criticizing? Praising. So he's praising Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, that how patient. If it was us, I would let me go, set me free. But he said, no, I want to stay in the prison until my innocence to be what? To be proved. Prophet said, I would have just said to him, let me set me free.
Musa.
Musa, how will you maybe. How will you make sure that he said, if he said, well, he has the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have to investigate one color.
She drank from it and then suckled her child. The angel said to her, do not be afraid of it being lost. Here there is a house of Allah which this child and his father will build. Allah certainly does not neglect his people.
Go ahead.
The house at that time was on a high place like a hillock. Torrents would come and take from its right corner and left corner. She remained there alone till a tribe of Jurhum passed by them, coming from the point of Gada in Makkah. They camped in the lower part of Makkah and saw there a bird flying. They said, this bird must be flying around water, though we know there is no water in this valley. They sent one or two people who saw the water. They returned and informed their people about the water, and they all came.
Okay. The Prophet I was talking about before is Luton alayhi salam. That's why I have to make sure. Is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about Lut, what he said, and that we're going to come to the Lut Prophet. When these people, they came and they wanted the guests of Lut to make the sodomy with them. So he said, I've got my daughters, marry them. So he says, قالوا أنا لي بكم قوة, if I got power to push you away, or أو آوي إلى ركن شديد, if I go to a stronger rukn like a support. So he said, may Allah have mercy upon him, he just said, well, the rukn shadid is Allah Azza wa Jal. That's a criticism. Do you understand me? Like saying that he could have said better, that I will do Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have 3 examples now from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding when he says, Rahim Allahu Ismail, Rahim Allahu Yusuf, Rahim Allahu Luton. Now, tfadal. Now, the story says that basically she had the water and she was drinking, and her, the water, the source of her, source of life. The bird was flying around. These people called Jurhum, well-known Arabs. Those are proper Arabs. They went there, and usually they know the area. There's no water. They saw a bird. They said, this bird cannot fly around except there's a water. So they sent a messenger or two. When they went, they saw that is water, that is Zamzam. They came back to tell them. So they came all their thoughts to Ismail, which is Hajar, on the water. They said to her, nah.
Do you allow us to stay with you?
Subhanallah. That's a memorable tribe. They've got a tribe and she's a very weak woman with a little child. They could have just kicked her out. Not even asking her. Go away. They never said that. Do you give us a permission? It's a tribe. A tribe. Can you give permission please to stay? So they could really drink from the water. She said,
She replied, yes, but you have no right to possess our water.
it's our water. You could drink, but it's our water. You can't confiscate it from us. So she's saying basically, yes, you could really benefit now, but this is our water. So if we're going to tell you stop, stop. Our water. She loved for them to stay. Why? Because she's in her own, in the middle of nowhere. So for these people, as soon as they said this, she felt that she could trust them. Do you understand me? As soon as these people said to her like that, Do you give us permission? She said, yes, but you have no control of the water. They accept it. Because of this good manner that they're asking her in this way, she said yes. And she loved to stay with them. If they had showed another sign, she would have never said to them, I want you to stay with me. Now, further.
And she agreed to it. It is said in the Bible, Allah commanded Ibrahim to circumcise Ismail and all those who lived with him of slaves and others.
Allahu A'lam. This is people of the book. We have no proof for that.
He was circumcised after 99 years of his age.
All of that is not from the hadith of al-Bukhari, by the way. You finished Bukhari?
Yeah, they agreed to it, that's it.
No, that's it. Okay. Right. Well, basically, after that, the authenticity goes into that they have sent to their families. So their families came to reside. And the boy now, maybe you got it there later on, I don't know. The boy, Ismail alayhi salam, started to grow up amidst them, to learn the Arabic from them. That means he was not an Arab. Ibrahim was not talking Arabic. So when he was making dua, he would not say, Rabbi, inni askantu min dhurriyati. He did not say that in the Arabic words. He said it in what? In his own language. Ismail, he learned the Arabic from them. And he had grown up in a way that they loved him, the tribe. And that's why they given him a wife. But that wife, later on we know that he was not a good wife, because he will divorce her. Right, so let's just see. I just want to link up with you. When you will link up with me, please just tell me.
Bukhari's hadith about circumcision. Ibrahim's khatan.
Says it? No, Ibrahim's khatan is different. Ibrahim alayhi salam, he made the khatan, that's in Bukhari.
That's the next.
Yeah, but that's not to do with Ismail. First person who had made khatan is Ibrahim. When he was 80 years old. Khatana bil-qaddum. Qaddum could be an axe or it could be a place. In a place called the qaddum, or the qaddum that is with an axe, because this is the only tool that you could really circumcise yourself. So this is the millat Ibrahim that we are making the khatan. طيب. Go ahead.
Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu narrated the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ibrahim circumcised himself at the age of 80 years by using an axe. Bukhari.
I said the axe qaddum could be a place. Qaddum is a name of a place. Now
the story of the sacrifice.
Okay, let me just, before you sacrifice, we say that the mother of Ismail alayhi salam, later on, after they got married, she died. Ibrahim alayhi salam used to come to visit them. We don't know any visit authenticated, that is, except when Ismail alayhi salam married. So in between the marriage of Ismail and leaving him at the first time, we don't have narrations that Ibrahim salam to pay them a visit. Do you understand me? So that is, you could say, more than 20 years, something like this. But Allahu A'lam, maybe it was a visit, but the visits which are important ones, these are the ones which are documented. That is, when he came, you don't have that story when he came to see the wife of his, you don't have that, no? That's a very important story. So he came, Ibrahim alayhi salam, and Ismail was not in the house. He found his wife, the one he got married to. So he asked, she doesn't know that he's father. Where is he? Well, he went to go and look for us for food and all of that. Shopping, like, basically. How do you feel? Are you okay? Are we living? She said, no, we are in very tight circumstances. We can't find anything to eat properly. She started complaining. So he said, okay, if your husband comes back, give him my salam and say to him to change the doorstep of his. Atabata Bani. When Ismail salam came, it looks like he had sensed that something had happened. Anyone came to you? She said, yes, old man. And he asked about you, and I told him. And he asked about how we are living, so I told him, no, we are not really living properly. Did he tell you anything? She said, yes, he told me that to say to you salam, and to change your doorstep. She doesn't know what she's saying, by the way. He said, oh, by the way, this is my father, the one you described, and he commanded me to divorce you. So go, you're divorced. Go to your family. That's a command from the father to his son. Divorce, divorce. So if your father is a straight person, good person, and he asks you to divorce your wife, you have to divorce your wife. When a man came to the Prophet, the Messenger of Allah, my father's commanded me to divorce. Another narration, my mother's commanding me to divorce. He said, Ati' waliday. What? Ati'? Fulfill the command of your father. First, he came to Abu Darda. My father is commanding me, or my mother is commanding me to divorce my wife. What should I do? He said, I'm not going to tell you to divorce or not to divorce, but I'll tell you what happened. I was with the Prophet of Allah when a man came with the same story of yours. And the Prophet of Allah, he said, the middle gate is the gate of the parents. So take the gate or you leave it. Which one are you going to do? If you obey them, you're going to take it. If you disobey them, you're going to go to the gate. Al-walidan awsatu abwab al-jannah. Either you're going to take it or don't take it. So what are you going to do now? Of course you're going to take it. That's of course if your father is a good person and he's a person who fears Allah. Not because he's a person who does not fear Allah, she's not white enough, she's not black enough. We don't really. That in that case, we say that we don't implement the wish of my father in a nice way. I'm not going to say that I'm going to listen to you, of course, but I'll say, okay, father, but I'm not going to fulfill it. So if your father doesn't pray, no. So Abdullah ibn Umar, he got married. I'm asking, Abdullah ibn Umar is a good man or not a good man? So if he's going to marry, is he going to marry a good wife or not a good wife? Good wife. And he stayed for her a bit of time. He loves her so much. Umar Khattab came, he said, divorce her. So, I mean, his father, as Umar Khattab, he can't argue. But he wants to get help. He went to the Prophet ﷺ, Messenger of Allah, father is commanding to divorce my wife. That means he's telling him, please tell him off. He said, Ata'u, abak. Obey your father, divorce her. He didn't even question why. Why? That's it. Father Umar Khattab said, gone, divorce her. So if he divorced her. They said, why he had divorced her when maybe she's not really bad. He said, maybe Abdullah ibn Umar, he was so much in love with her, he's not really doing what he used to do from the ibad. Did you understand? The love of his so much that he's not really as a person he was used to be. So his father sensed that. So they said, like our Shaykh mentioned, if your father like this, you have to obey him. Don't waste the middle gate. Then the family, the tribe of Jurhum, they have given him another one. They didn't say, oh, you have divorced our women, we're not going to give you another one, because they know he's a good person. They gave him another one. So he married her. She was a very good woman. And Ibrahim ﷺ stayed as much as he can, we don't know how many years, according to the hadith. Then he entered again, and Ismail was not there. He asked her, the new wife, how are you? Where is he? He's shopping, going, bringing some food. How are you? She started, MashaAllah, we are good, Alhamdulillah, MashaAllah, and started praising Allah Azza wa Jal. What is your food? She said, meat. What's your drink? She said, water. And by the way, the meat here is not what you think, oh, meat, that means they're rich. No. That is basically what people of Mecca was well known of, lots of animals. They don't have trees. They don't have, for example, grapes, because the land is not for grapes. It's not for bananas. It's land of sheep. So for them, sheep. So for them to go and take, the wheat, they have to import it from Bilad Sham. To import that wheat. They've got dates, they've got meat. Do you understand? These have to be imported from far away. So don't you think, oh, that must be, mashallah, they could afford meat. So the meat and the water, that's it. Meat and water, don't have juice. So the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he said, Allahumma barik lahum fil lahmi wal ma'. Oh Allah, give them barakah in the meat and the water. Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad, he said, and they did not have any wheat. If they had wheat, he would have said, oh Allah, put barakah into their wheat. because they didn't have wheat. So he says that any person who sticks himself, that's for you as a prescription, sticks himself to meat, okay, and water, and he's not makin, they give him stomach aches. So if you're not a makin, and that's in the hadith. قال فهما that means the meat and the water. لا يخلو عليهما أحد بغير مكة إلا لم يوافقه. That means they were not going to be suitable to him. Only the makins. So he said, verily, if your husband comes, send him salam and tell him to affirm his doorstep. Affirm his doorstep. So Ismail came and he said that something had happened. Anybody came? He said, yes. Very nice old man. And she started praising him. And he asked me about you. So I told him. And she said, yes. He said, to say to you salam and to affirm your doorstep. She doesn't know what he's saying. He said, well, this is my father and you are the doorstep. And he commanded me to hold you as a wife and keep you as a wife. So this is the story basically of Ibrahim and Ismail alayhi salam and his mother. Then, now we're coming to the time when there were the sacrifices before the building of the Kaaba. But I'm going to finish the hadith because the hadith in Sahih Bukhari is, I'm going to finish all of it. So he left them for a bit of time after that, Ibrahim alayhi salam, next to some trees, which is next to Zamzam. So when he saw him, straight away, the son got up and he did what the father does to the son, the son does to the father, from the hugging and the loving and all of that. And then he said, Ismail, Allah's generally what he said, that both of them, just Ibrahim and his son, on top of the stone, because Ibrahim stood in it so many years, he left a mark on that stone. This is called what? Maqam. That stone was next to the Kaaba because you can't build the Kaaba. You know, the moment you could see it, you know that little glass flask. You seen it? Big one. And it contains the foot, which is the stone where Ibrahim used to go on top of it. Now that one was not as far as this. It was next to the Kaaba because you can't. Ibrahim hasn't got a long hand, you know, from there to go and build it. It was next to the Kaaba. So he used to be reaching this, taking the stone and the bricks and he puts on top of that stone until he left a mark. And that mark is not with his shoes, with his burly foot. No shoes. At the time of Al-Khattab, it was not stuck to the Kaaba. So the time of the Prophet was stuck to the Kaaba. And it is Umar is the one who's called Mulham Hadid Ummah, the inspired man. He is the one who pointed to the Prophet, if we can take the station of Ibrahim to be a place for prayer. So Allah said, وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى. Synchronizing with what Umar had suggested. And that's why Abdullah ibn Umar, he said, the son of Umar, Khattab, he said, whenever there's a matter and people say something, and Umar, which is his father, says something, Allah will send it to what? Support and synchronize with Umar. Mulham. لو كان بعدي نبي لكان عمر. If I had to have a prophet after me, it would have been Umar. Of course, Abu Bakr is much better than Umar. But this is to show the inspired man was whom? Umar. Who is the one had inspired for the collection of your Quran? Who? Umar. The inspiration came from Umar. Umar is the one who came to Abu Bakr. We're about to lose. People have been dying. And he kept arguing with Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr said, how could I do something the Prophet didn't do? He said, no, Prophet Sallallahu would have done it. There was no papers at that time. He said, the Quran was not complete. How can he do it? So he kept arguing and debating until Abu Bakr felt happy. Umar got a point. So the inspiration of Umar, Mullah, he is the one who suggested to the Prophet of Allah when he asked about the prisoners of war in Badr, he said, they should be killed because these people are criminals. Abu Bakr said, no, we should either ransom them, took the you could say softer side. Allah, he said, no, حَتَّى يُثْخِنَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He's not supposed to do that until he killed him. So support will come to Umar. The hijab from Umar radiallahu anhu. It's Umar radiallahu anhu. وَافَقْتُ رَبِّي فِي ثَلَاثٍ is more than 3 times. When the Prophet of Allah was about to pray on the hypocrite, and Umar was pulling him back. Messenger of Allah, can you pray in the name of Allah? Leave me, Umar. I'm going to give you a choice. So the Prophet will pray, and Allah sent a verse. ما كان للنبي والذين لا تقم على أحد منهم مات أبدا لا تصلي على أحد منهم مات أبدا ولا تقم على قبر إنهم كفروا بالله ورسوله وماتوا وهم فاسقون. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. So Umar, he was the inspired man, radiallahu anhu wa ardah. This is the story of the stone basically, which Prophet Ibrahim stood on top of it. And when they were building, they were saying, رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. We're going to stop here because basically we have exceeded what we have planned. And inshallah, I'll try my best next week to finish because we have got a big task in front of us, which is to talk about the actual incident of the slaughtering and the ransoming, and also the details of building the Kaaba. Inshallah, I will do as my best, and verily there is lots of as well benefits to learn from what we have heard. We say that even though that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam is a prophet, even though that Hajar is the wife of the Prophet, and she said Allah will neglect us, she did not stay there next to the to the water skin. She said, well, Allah will not neglect us. Allah will send me now water and put it in my mouth and in the mouth of my child. She didn't say that, did she? She got up, she went to there, she looked for the people. Even though she said Allah will not neglect us, she did not stay next to her child. She said, I'm going to die until Allah send me rain. Well, like these people sit and they want food, they put the plate and then the fish will be jumping from the river into their plate. So what is that? Somebody asked him, cooked or not cooked? To make fun of it. Barbecued fish? How can you? So somebody wants money, just doing nothing, and then the money will start flying onto his face. That's hallucination. You have to take the asbab. Also, we learn from the story that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would respond to the dua. Dua Ibrahim alayhi salam. If he's a person who's a salih, righteous person, he is not eating haram, drinking haram, dressed up in haram, Allah will respond. Prophet ﷺ, you said, Allah Azza wa Jal, when the person calls upon him, he will fulfill. One of the three. Either he will give him what he wants, and that's alhamdulillah, or save it for him on the day of resurrection, and that's even better. Or he will push an evil which is equivalent to that. Three of these things. So if you make a dua, you're going to get one of them. One, you're going to get it. Allah will fulfill it for you. Number two, if he doesn't fulfill it now, he will save it for you on the day of resurrection. And maybe on the day of resurrection, if you said, I wish that none of my dua would have been fulfilled, I want them to be for me on the day of resurrection. The third one is that Allah will push away an evil, which is equivalent to that. So, dua is very important. Ibadah shows that your humility to Allah, you're in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, call upon Him, and Allah is asking you to call Him. And if you raise up your hands, Prophet of Allah said, Inna Allah hayy. He is shy. يستحي أن يرد يدي عبده صفرا. Empty. If you raise up your hands, Allah will give you. So the dua, as long as you are doing halal. Well, Prophet of Allah is talking about the person who's dusted, ash'af, and he's in trouble. And when you're in the trouble, you're supposed to be closer to Allah and your dua is accepted, but he's making dua. His food is haram, his water, his drink is haram, his clothes is haram. فَأَنَّا يُسْتَجَابُ لَهُ. How can Allah respond to this person? So you have to have halal food, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you by this. Inshallah, we will give you some time for questions and answers. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Fadal. Na'am.
Across the Hadith of Umar and Umar bin Khattab, that's specifically for Umar bin Khattab, and you can't apply that in this day and age because parents are not the same as Umar bin Khattab.
Came across what, sorry?
I came across the hadith that you narrated.
The hadith doesn't say what you have just said. You came across maybe somebody who...
Someone else's opinion. Someone else's opinion that you cannot apply.
Somebody's opinion, you give it to him. Because we gave you hadith of Abu Darda.
Yeah.
Somebody's opinion is give it to him. And that's why Abu Darda, that man came to him, he said, I'm not going to command you to go and leave and not to leave. But I'll tell you, the Prophet of Allah, he said, Al-Walidan awsatu al-Jannah. Two parents are the middle gate. Either you take it or you will neglect it. Our Imam Shaykh al-Albani, I don't know who's that man you're talking about, he says from this hadith that the person should never neglect the middle door. Okay? Should never neglect that door. So when the person has a father and a mother and they are fearing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are not biased towards any concepts or rituals, and they say to you that divorce, because I tell you what, Umar Khattab, does he love his son or not? Okay. So he loves his son. We have no doubt about that. And Umar Khattab, is he just or not just? So if he says to him, divorce her, do you think he's gone out of his justice system to injustice? He had seen something that his son is not seeing. And that's why you listen to your father. You could try to convince your father to make brother, I think you're wrong, maybe. Send him some people as well. That's why he did not respond quickly, did he, Abdullah ibn Umar? He went to the Prophet of Allah. Help! But the Prophet of Allah said, no, divorce her. Now that's a command. Wallahi, if you command, if you follow the commands of your father and mother, wallah, Allah will give you happiness in your life. Wallah, Allah will make your life miserable if you disobey your father and mother. Wallah. You'll have no good life, regardless how much money you've got. I've got a real story. A man with a big beard, mashallah. He's got more than 6, 7 sons. I can't remember, maybe 10, more than 6 and 7. I could see them one after the other. The only one who's got the big beard is the eldest one, his son. And I could see him so happy, mashallah. The other ones, shorter beards. You know, these beards, we call them the youth beards. Which is the paint, you know, like a paint. It's not a beard, it looks like a beard. مشروع لحية. A project to make a لحية. No, it's not it. All of them, they got married. I asked the father, mashallah, and he says, they don't really listen to me. What about the oldest son? He says, mashallah, I love him. He's the good, he's the best. So I went to each one of them. Are you happy? Are you happy? Are you happy? No, listen. He's got a problem. The eldest one, I didn't ask him. He says to me, you know, Allah blessed me with so much happiness. He's got children as well. Because I used to listen to my father all the time and my mother. I never say no to them. He's so happy. That happiness, you want to, you know, you purchase it, you want money to purchase it. Wallah, you can't purchase it with money. He's so happy. Because he says it because I listened to my father and my mother. That's why Allah gave him happiness. But if you're not going to be listening, Allah will give you a miserable life. Miserable. I ask me because I've seen so many people. Miserable. So, Yahi, when your father and your mother are praying people, good people, they ask you to do that, you could argue, you could tell them, but they still insist. Don't compromise your parents. No. Fadal. The lie? Well, they praise his daily 5 prayers. He's not one of those who says that if you are, oh, she's not Hanafi, she's not Shafi'i, then I would say you don't implement it in a nice way. But he's on the haqq, on the truth. That's it. No problem. I'm not saying that he has to be Umar al-Khattab. No way going to be Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu. So any person who says this is for Umar, I don't understand that. Can't do it. Umar al-Khattab. Subhanallah.
No, they're trying to say the judgment. These fathers this day and age don't have the same judgment as Umar.
I'm just saying, who's going to be like Umar? That means that hadith, put it in the bin. Don't listen to it. There's no use for it. What is that? And hadith Abi Darda, hadith of the Prophet, Al-Walidani awsat abwab al-Jannah. So what are you going to do with that hadith? The parents, you know, the middle gate. Gate of paradise, how many? 8. One of them is the gate of the 2 parents, father and mother. So if you find it blocked on the devil's side, why? Because they did not listen to them. No, I want to be open. Now.
Sheikh, when Ibrahim alayhi salam advised Ismail alayhi salam to change his gate to divorce his first wife, was it because that she was complaining probably of his the reality of the situation that she was in a forced state, or was it because perhaps she was bringing an evil omen? That's why Allah's blessing wasn't coming.
What is the reason that the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he had asked his son to go and change the doorstep of his, I mean divorce his wife? Is it because she is complaining a lot? Well, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam basically is a prophet. That one, if it was the proof, I cannot say that if your father said to you something, then you have to fulfill it, because we cannot use that as an example, because it's a prophet. But Umar Khattab is not a prophet. Okay? This is a prophet. So he had asked her, how do you feel? She started complaining. When the person complains, that means he is denying the favors of Allah. If you deny the favors of Allah, you are very easily going to be denying the favors of your husband. Simple as that. Divorce her. Okay? As for bringing omens and omens, that's more of putting things there that the hadith cannot take. تحميل الحديث ما لا يحتمل. Say in Arabic. You can really make lots of heavy weights on the hadith. Where is the support for that? She's denying the favors of Allah. She denies the favors of Allah. You deny the favors of a human being.
Sheikh, is it wrong to, perhaps this is what she's saying, that she's not getting much. Is it wrong to make complaint that we don't have enough?
Okay. No problem for the women to complain that she's got nothing. But to whom she's complaining? He's a stranger man for her. Somebody just saw him for the very first time. You know, we're living in hell. What is this? She complained like Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan, to the Prophet of Allah, to somebody whom she knows that he will solve the problem. My husband is stingy, Messenger of Allah. Abu Sufyan told him, he's stingy. Is it permissible for me to take money while he doesn't know about it? So, Prophet Allah gave a fatwa. It's not judgment, because he did not go and check up on Abu Sufyan, are you stingy or not? He gave a fatwa. I mean, based upon if he's true, saying true, خُذِي مِن مَالِهِ مَا يَكْفِيكِ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Take from his money what suffices you, but bil-ma'ruf. What is bil-ma'ruf? In a way which will not be overboard. So that means you're going to end up bankrupt. His wallet will be empty. Nothing. And bil-ma'ruf, I have to emphasize this, because if sisters are listening to me, please understand the hadith properly. Start robbing your husband now from this hadith. No, this hadith is based on that her husband is stingy. What is stingy? That he does not give what he's supposed to give. But for you, maybe you think, oh, I've asked him to take me to that expensive restaurant, he's not taking me. He's stingy. No. It's nothing to do with that. Okay, stingy maybe, like for example, he's not feeding her the same he feeds herself. He's not clothing her the same he clothes herself. Okay? Because the Prophet of Allah, he said, man, what is the right of a woman over a messenger of Allah? He said, it is to feed her what you feed yourself. You eat kebab, you give her kebab. You don't give her dal without kebab. Dal means lentil, aras. You give her kebab. You clothe her from what you clothe yourself. Okay? And if you want to discipline her, in the house. Huh? Fil bayt. Wahjur fil bayt. And also you want to detach yourself from a marital relationship in the house. Not outside of it. Make a court case out of it. So the people, they do. Everything's outside. So if you want to discipline her, even in the bed, even the children can't see. وَهْجُرُهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ فِي الْمَضْجِعِ, which is there inside the bedroom, not even in the lounge. Now, تفضل.
First, can I ask something about this subject?
Oh yes, go ahead. I'm just looking at the time. I need to leave before 10. They start blocking the roads, by the way.
Okay.
The road works here in this country.
First آية إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والنصارى والصابئين من آمنوا بالله واليوم الآخر فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Does this ayah apply for the way that we live with right now, as long as they believe for the judgment day and they believe in Allah without believing in the Islam, or what does it mean?
Any ayah which talks about that the people of the book, if they believe in their prophets, not just this ayah, lots of ayah, that believe in their prophets, that they will be secured and in Jannah, it has to be implemented in the way that those people, they believed in their prophets before the appearance of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is the reason? Because this is a covenant being taken upon every prophet, that if the Prophet of Allah is to appear in his time, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to him to believe in his followers in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that the Prophet of Allah said, "Ma min ahadin," not a single person, Christian, Jew, who hears about me and he does not believe me, if Allah will put him in the hellfire. So you have, as soon as you hear about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you have to believe in him. If you don't believe in him, Allah will put you in the hellfire. But to hear, "Ma min ahadin min ahli al-kitab sami'a bi," hear about me, فَلَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِي إِلَّا أَدْخَلَهُ اللَّهُ النَّارَ. Allah will not give him Jannah, will put him in the hellfire. So, if you hear about the Prophet from the right sources, of course. If you did not hear about the Prophet from the right sources, then you have a special test on the day of resurrection. So let's say, for example, you were in search of haqq. You heard about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ from the sources where he says he is a terrorist, you never had any source which has made you to think what is Muhammad properly. Okay? And you died upon this, then you have a test on the day of resurrection. Allah will give you the test. And Allah will not wrong you. The people will go to the hellfire. When they go to the hellfire, they will say, Allah is just. None of them will be complaining when they go to the hellfire. None of them will say, "Oh, I've been wronged here. I need to have a lawyer." No. They will know that they have come to the hellfire and they deserve the hellfire. They will never go to the hellfire and they have something to argue about. Imagine this person is arguing to say to Allah Azza wa Jal, "Didn't you say, oh Lord, you're not going to do any justice to me? I don't accept any witness against myself except for myself." Allahu Akbar. I don't accept any witness against myself except for myself. Tell me which court and which judge will accept such a thing? A criminal being brought, no witnesses I'm going to accept. It's only my words. Which judge would accept that? Which judge? Tell me. I mean, all these CCTV cameras have been tampered with. That person who looks like me is not me. That person who saw me, he didn't see me, somebody else. I had to be my witness again. No judge will get out. Allah says, okay, we will have no witness against you except for you. So Allah will put a seal in his mouth. His tongue can't move. And then he command his limbs, himself, to talk about it. His hand will speak about it. His legs will speak about it. His eyes will speak about it. Against it. His ears will speak against it. All of that. And then after he sees and everything he looks, then Allah will let go of the tongue. The tongue, the first thing will say, "Disgrace to you." That's the first thing he will utter. "I've been trying to defend you. And you put me in trouble." Who commanded you to do that? Allah, the one who commanded everything to speak, he commanded to speak. I know. That's why all the limbs every morning they come humble before their sheikh. Who's their sheikh? The tongue. Sheikh. They call him Sheikh, tongue. Sheikh, fear Allah in our sake. We are with you. That means we go to paradise because of you or go to hell because of you. Fear Allah. You are our sheikh. Fear Allah. Taqillah. We are with you. Where we go, we're going to go. So that tongue of yours is that the musibah. ألا يكب الناس يوم القيامة على وجوههم وعلى مناخرهم في النار إلا حصائد ألسنتهم. So what makes people go to the throne into the fire under their faces is that tongue. حصائد, what their tongue have. Hafiz, and please, I have to stop. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك.